Hello party people, Sarah here, welcome back. We're going to do part 2 of my Soe and Soe ink sample order, which I am very pumped about. There are some, I have some brands where there's multiple ink samples from each brand, but I've just they're just in a pile here. I'm not going to do them in any specific order, but these are the dried samples from the other day, the Kitty Inkpot ones. It did dry down a touch darker. Still would like to see that in a pen, but this here, absolutely gorgeous. Both, I mean, this one as well, just exquisite. But let's jump into it. Alrighty. Who is excited? I am excited. First cab off the rank is Hosia Ink Studio Purple Winter. Am I gonna spill things? Probably. All right, let's dip this in and give it a go. I think I have 11 inks, so I'm not sure I'll be able to get them all onto one page. We shall see. Ooh, grey, purple, love. I'm just going to keep it as that. And this is purple, and they use brackets. So I shall too. I have to do one more little dip. Ooh, gorgeous. Love, love, love. Pretty and purple. There's some blues popping through there. That is gorgeous. That one was Hosia Ink Studio Purple Winter. Next up, Pen BBS, which if you've watched any of my videos of late, I love. Number 226 June Pearl, which is a shimmer. Now, I don't usually get shimmers, and I think maybe I didn't realize it was a shimmer when I got it. I just liked the purple ink in the swatch. However, all is good, and maybe I'll end up liking it. We'll see. Like that base purple, I think is really, really gorgeous. I'll just do another quick shake and shimmy before I put some on the nib here. So we have Pen BBS number 226. What did I say? June Pearl? Yep. Not seeing tons of the shimmer. I always run out. Pretty sure it's a, like before I agitated the sample vial, it's a silver shimmer. I can see a little bit of silver in there, but I'm not seeing too much shimmer come through. Maybe it's one of those ones that it kind of, you really only start to see it as it dries down. Oh, I'm starting to see it there. I don't know if you can see it catching, there you go, catching the light. Halfway between wet and dry, it looks like quite a subtle shimmer, but those things can change pretty drastically. I am filming this on a Friday. This one next, Ostrich Ink Green Rubina. I feel like a rubina is a bird, but I hear that word and it reminds me of ribena, which was it's a cordial of my childhood. It's a blackcurrant cordial. And then used to get like those little pouches, but ribena cordial, definitely. 90s kid, but in the early noughties, if you were a 90s kid, I feel like in the early noughties, I actually also have no idea if that's an Australian thing or if ribena existed elsewhere. I have no idea. But this is neither Australian, cordial, or Ribena. It is green Ribena. I like the cool green that's put down. Similar to when I did Gramophone, I worry about, is it going to dry a touch too light? But we shall see. I'm just seeing, you can almost actually see more of the shimmer in the writing sample for this one. In the bees there, it's quite subtle, but I feel like that purple underneath is so beautiful. And then this here is just wheelhouse. I feel like the camera is quite jumpy today. My phone, am I being more heavy? Well, it's not heavy-footed, heavy-handed. I will try and be aware of that. Okay. I want to come back to this one. Let's see what that is, as in the lightness. Next up, Van Diemen's Blue Jay Crown. From memory, I chose this one as I continue to try and explore blues, and this was that kind of blurple world, which I can quite enjoy if the mood strikes. It's gone down much more purple, but let's wait and see when it dries. Van Diemen's is an ink brand I actually haven't tried lots of, which is a bit bizarre because they are Aussie. They're from Tassie. But at the next Melbourne pen meetup, I'm doing, well, I've sold a couple bottles of ink of mine to someone, and then we're going to do a swap as well. So I've put a whole bunch of samples like that she's chosen aside, and then she got me to jump on her fountain pen companion to choose, and she has like every Van Diemen's under the sun. And I actually said, oh, you know, I actually really don't know much about that. So I've chosen maybe like 10 Van Diemen's to try. I have another Van Diemen's in here as well because it was a burgundy and I just couldn't not do it. Sorry, had to pause for a moment there, but I'm back. I was talking about this one here. It's dried a little bit in that time that I just had to step away for nothing exciting, just another coughing fit. I love the coolness of this. I am wondering if it's going to be too light again, but there's something really interesting, or almost like fresh actually is the word I want to use, about the cool undertones of this purple ink. I'd like to see when it's totally dry if it is going to shift more towards a blurple. And then like this one up here, I think I referred to I didn't say blurple, I said a purple grey, but looking at that writing sample as it's dried down is absolutely stunning. Next up, we have another Hosia, and this is 9 Provinces. I don't know if you can see the colour in there, but it's in Sarah's love of burgundy wheelhouse. All right, so let's do this one just here. Ooh, love. Actually, the other Van Diemen's I got, I feel could be quite similar. Maybe I'll find that one to do next. We can do them next to each other. I feel like I started a sentence probably 10 minutes ago about the day of the ink, the day of the week I'm filming this on. Oh, that is gorgeous. That felt super nice coming off the nib. Super, super nice, I have to say. I'm filming this on a Friday, which means tomorrow is the weekend. I'm going to a baby shower tomorrow, which I'm very excited about. I'm just looking for that Van Diemen's. Oh, okay. Mold Essential, which is another burgundy. So maybe we just do them next to each other. I'm going to a 30th and then, a baby shower and then a 30th. So it's going to be a big day of socializing, which does make me a little bit nervous. I can get quite a bit of social anxiety, but I'm also really excited. I'm excited for the baby shower. It's their first bubba. And I think on Sunday, my partner recently got not a new job, but a promotion. She's been acting in a role for a while and then had to interview to kind of get it ongoing, and she got it, which is awesome. And she's starting in that like ongoing promoted role in a new team on Monday. So we might go and buy some new shoes for, you know, a new role, who dis? New phone, who dis? And I think I would like to buy them as a bit of a present. So this is what I love about this kind of burgundy et al category. This, because it's almost an in-between color or secondary, tertiary color, there's so many variations of it. And next to each other, like they look so different, but they are part of that same color family. If I look at the Hosia, there's the oranges and the pinks coming through, and then the Van Diemen's Mold Essential, much more of the reds and the browns. And I love both iterations. I love both versions of it. I think it is just gorgeous. That's what they look like. They're still wet. We can have a look when they're dry, but beautiful there. I feel this one's going to be more of your standard shading. You can see little bits of breakaway color in there for the Hosia Ink Studio ink. And I said when I was doing it, but this felt really nice coming off the nib. How many more do I have? 5. 1, 2. Oh, are we going to get them in? What do we think? Let's see. Next up, an ostrich ink, and it's moss green. And also somehow we are in like the middle of, or when I'm filming this at least, in the middle of March, which I find so wild. Oh, that olive green world, she very much does love. She being Sarah, who apparently speaks in the second and third person. Just get the nib in there. This one also coming off the nib really easily there, just gliding. Moss. Now I want to tempt fate to turn back 2 pages to just look at that next to. So I find so interesting about inks, because you know we talk about olive greens and you can see it has like a brown or yellow undertone to it. But then if we look at Cicada Rain, which is, you know, has broken away and you've got the browns in there, it shows you how much more of a yellow base this one has, which is really beautiful. But again, kind of what I was saying about those two, I just find that so gorgeous. And I want to just have a look at it next to this one here, which is probably one of my favorite greens, the Pannonia Zoldyck, which is just gorgeous. And I think this is going to be a touch lighter and the ostrich ink will end up being a touch darker. And then another favorite is that Diamine Wagner, which I need to find here somewhere without getting that. And that's what that one is there. And it's going to be really hard to look at the difference. I wonder if the whatever haloing kind of ends up drying here could show what's different. But I might do a bit of a olive green exploration, I think, because I am really enjoying that color category at the moment. There's little bits of it almost looks like an amber popping through there, which is just beautiful. Next up, Lennon Toolbar Joey. Now, looking at this ink in the vial, I really have no idea why I chose it, unless it looked super different in the swatch. Bit perplexed with myself. Yeah, it's quite red. I wonder if in the swatch it looked more like a burgundy, but it's very red going down. I'm not sure how I feel about this. We'll see what it's like when it dries, but also that's okay, because if I know from this point, being like that first swatch, that I'm really not going to use it, I will straight away put it in a little container to take to the next Melbourne pen meetup. And it also means that, like, because it's only a 2 ml sample, someone can, like, it's a 2 ml sample minus literally 1 swatch, right? So they'll still get like 2, 3, depending on the size of the converter, like proper fills out of it if this isn't ink for them. Very saturated and bright. Yeah, really not sure why I chose it. It's not, I mean, I am liking Writer's Blood. I don't mind Oxblood every now and then, but I think I would still choose them over this. It felt really nice. I feel like if I base it just on this, it would be nice in a drier pen. And I'm really worried I've got 3 inks left. How does she do this? 1, 2, 3. Let's try that. Yep, so that was Joey from Lennon Toolbar. And then Hosia, The Sound of Flowers. I think I have, okay, so I have 2 Hosia inks and 1 ostrich ink left. And they're all in the 5 ml dropper bottles, which I really love. I love that size. This one is The Sound of Flowers, which I chose A, because purple, but also I just think the name is beautiful. My work phone going away there. The sound. I can never consistently always do F's in the same way. I mean, I can never consistently do anything in the same way, right? Beautiful. What's coming up underneath that? Is that, I wonder if it's got a bit of a red base to it. It has a brightness to it, which looks really, really gorgeous, but I can't get over these here. But that is going to be, I think if murky inks were on a spectrum of murky to the point of so light and chromo shady that they're unusable to not a murky ink, this for me maybe sits somewhere in the middle, because there's a vibrancy to whatever that red pink part of the ink is, which gives it a quality different to like some of the real dirtier, murkier ones. And dirty is not a bad word, it's just my descriptive word. So that's, yeah, really intriguing. That looks beautiful. And I feel like that ink coming out of like a TWSBI would look quite nice, because you could still get the fine line, but then a decent amount of ink. This is, all right, she's doing it. This is the other Hosia, and it's a green ink, and it is called Old Dreams. And again, love the names. I feel like if I would have swatched this one first, I would have said, oh, I really like that as a green. But because I've swatched the moss green, I like this, but I like this so much more that I'm like, it's a nice green, because I've done that. What it's making me think of is it's like another version of the Cicada Rain, but instead of the breakaway being brown, it's going to be like a yellow. Just seeing if that green is somewhat similar. So I don't have much to say about this green, and I blame ostrich ink for that, and blame in a good way. And speaking of ostrich, let's do the last one. And I'm speeding up a little bit because I can see my work phone going a bit bonkers in the distance there. So to finish up, yep, we're going with it. We're breaking the 2 lines. No regrets. And this is light mauve, which is a word I struggle to say. Ooh, this is nice. I wonder if it, oh, I hope it doesn't dry down too light. Just that dusty pink is beautiful. Did she spell it correctly? It appears that she did. So we'll come back to this one. It's a really nice dusty pink. Nothing that I had in my collection is jumping out of me as really similar. I really am interested to see that one dry. I think some of these lighter chromo shading inks are what I'm thinking about for like, yeah, those wetter fine lines I have, and I just kind of really go to TWSBI or the Asvine P50 actually, which lets out a really nice amount of ink. But we'll have a look at them. So the Hosia inks we have Purple Winter up here, which has dried down to a really gorgeous blurple. When it was wet, it looked much more purple grey to me. And then some that are still a little bit wet, 9 Provinces, Burgundy, Love, Chef's Kiss, No Notes, Old Dreams, and The Sound of Flowers. I don't know if you can see that vibrancy I was talking about. It's quite subtle. When it was wet, it looked more red, and it's drying to quite a vibrant pink, but balanced out by that purple. It's quite subtle, which is really beautiful, I feel. It was a weird sentence structure. The Pen BBS June Pearl, that shimmer is there. There's actually a lot of shimmer. It just looks quite fine. So it's on the subtle side with some just nice black haloing. The 2 Van Diemen's inks, this Love, Reddy Brown, Mold Essential, gorgeous. I don't know why I've done it in brand, but then this one, it's got like a clump on it. Can you see that? What is that? That's not paper. All right, I'm not going to get it while it's wet. Oh, yes, I am, because I can't wait. Clump or something in there. Yeah, really, honestly, no idea why I put that in there. If you like bright, dark reds, give it a go. I got really nothing else to say. And then finally some ostrich inks. So the green Robina, which I do wonder if it's going to be a touch too light. I would enjoy swatching it or maybe doing maybe like a mandala with it or something, but I think for writing it may end up being a touch too light. And then this, super surprised by and really love the, don't touch it, sorry, it's wet, the moss green and light mauve here. As it's drying down, I'm starting to see little bits of the black come through. I would definitely want to pen test this one just to make sure it isn't too light. But there you go. So this was the order I got from Soe and Soe. I think I said in my first video, I'd even made a mistake. I'd put a 5 mil and a 2 mil of this one in, and I emailed them and they swapped it out. Like, it was just so quick and so easy, such a pleasure to deal with, and such a variety of really interesting ink brands there. And I feel really lucky to have these as part of my collection and find some that I know I can immediately pass on with, you know, a full 2 mil that hopefully other people will really enjoy. So I would love to know from these ones if there's a favorite that sticks out for you. Have you used any of these, or having looked at this, have you gone, oh my God, I absolutely need to try that now? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.